take a walk on the woo-woo side with me. My name is Michelle Douglas and I am on a mission to help you to step into your power so that you can create the life you desire. Visit me at empoweredlifeprograms.com to learn more. Hello, Michelle here, and today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. So we're going to move away from past life regressions just for this episode, and we're going to be talking about how to decipher messages from spirit. So last month I learned more about how to decipher these messages from spirit, and I was blessed enough to be mentored by a talented medium and teacher. His name is Rhys, and it was so much fun. So why do I want to learn how to decipher messages from spirit? Now, firstly, I don't want to become a practicing medium, but I do respect and admire the talented mediums I've had the pleasure of meeting and observing over the years. Mediumship in particular, and in particular evidential mediumship, is an incredibly powerful way to prove to the people of the world that when our physical body dies, our spirit or our soul does not die with it. So when a person experiences a mediumship reading and hears specific evidence-based information from their loved one in spirit, it can help a great deal for the person on this side to heal and to deal with their grief in a whole new way. So why I want to learn more about how to decipher messages from spirit is because I'm often receiving guidance either from my spirit guides, from angelic type beings, or even from family members or loved ones in spirit of my clients as well. And sometimes they are coming through with a message or guidance for my client. And obviously I want to be able to pass that on in the most accurate way possible. Now, there is a problem with the messages from spirit, and it's not really a problem as such, but for me, it can be quite challenging to accurately translate the messages that I receive. It's not like I perceive someone standing in front of me speaking to me verbally either. So what spirit shows me is rarely a literal representation of what they want to communicate, but rather symbolic, and I'll touch on this in a moment. So I have the ability to use all of my what we call clairs. So you can be clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant. There's a whole bunch of them, right? But I am more clairvoyant than anything else, which means that spirit shows me images that appear very quickly in my mind, like very quick snapshots that flash up and then disappear. Sometimes I receive words in my mind, so that's the clairaudience coming through, and sometimes I just know something and I just say it, which is my claircognizant. So other mediums out there receive their messages really clearly, and a lucky few can actually see spirits with their eyes and hear spirit with their ears. And I've had to learn this skill the hard way. I'm a late bloomer in this regard, and I admit I still have a way to go, but I'm still pretty proud of how I did with my mentor last month. So my mentor's name is Rhys Wynn Davies, and he's a very well-known and very successful medium, and has done a lot of his training through the Arthur Findlay College in the UK as well. So he knows his stuff. And when working together, I managed to bring in quite a number of loved ones in spirit. And Rhys in particular places a lot of emphasis on evidence. I need to give him real specifics, not generic evidence. So when like that way, any old person could fluke an accurate reading, right? So I need to be quite like accurate in order for him to go, yeah, you've got this person or you've got that person. So when I work with Rhys, I need to be as detailed and specific as I can be when giving him evidence from the other side. Now, what I'm going to share today isn't as detailed as what I explained to him, and that's purely because if any of his students happen to come across this video or the post that I've put up or the podcast, I don't want them to be influenced in any way by the information I'm talking about here today. So on this occasion, after when I was working with him last month, I was passing evidence on for a few minutes. It became really clear that I'd actually brought through more than one spirit. So my evidence, while accurate, related to different people. So that was a bit of a, so that's something I need to work on going forward, is that when I am receiving this information, I need to make sure that it's coming from one source, not several, so that I can break it down and call in one at a time, see if I can get the information from them one at a time. So it's easier said than done, because throughout our session together, multiple times I brought through multiple spirits. So they're all just pushing in, wanting to get to the front, right? So after other amazing stuff came through too, such as specific about the person's body. And again, I'm not going to give away too much here, about what they did for a living. And there was some real specific information I was able to pick up through our session. And I even described the backyard of a lovely lady in spirit who's a relative of his, and he was able to confirm what I told him was accurate. Now, the highlight, there were two actually. So the first one was where I had an aunt come through to provide me something relevant to Rhys so that he would understand what I was talking about. And she showed me these little small cloth flowers. And she really emphasized the word cloth, because I asked, you know, are they silk flowers? And I got told, no, they are cloth. She was very specific. Now, he was able to share the details of a blanket he'd been looking at the night before with embroidered flowers on it. And when he sent me a photo of the blanket, it looked nothing like the image I had in my mind, but he knew exactly what I was talking about, and what she was actually saying to me. So that was pretty cool. Now, the next one, and this was my favorite, I had a gentleman in spirit communicating with me, and he'd passed on quite a lot of information that Rhys was able to confirm that, yep, that's him, that's him. And he showed me another flower. Now, doubt immediately came into my mind, because I just talked about the flower that his aunt had shown me in the cloth flowers. But I decided to go with it, as I've been taught to do, just go with what they tell you. So the man was emphasizing the orange circle in the middle of the flower, and he kept talking about the round orange bit. Now, what I saw was a flower with a really pronounced orange center. It was bright orange, and the flower had white petals. Rhys, on the other hand, started to laugh, and he picked up his phone and said, this is what my daughter and I made this morning. And he showed me a photo. Now, the photo you'll see I think I've got it on the first slide that you see if you're watching the video. You will also see it if you go over to the website and see the blog post about this one. But basically, the petals in the image are made, what they've done is made a little flower out of little mandarin segments with a cracker in the middle. So the petals were the mandarin segments. Oops, bumping my microphone here. And the center is the cracker. Now, as you can see, it's not exactly what I saw in my mind, which was a white flower with a bright orange center, but the round orange bit, like a mandarin, could be confused as a small orange, right? So as you can see, they're speaking to me in metaphors or code to help me to show Rhys that, yes, this is exactly what they were seeing that morning with him. So that was pretty cool. So how to decipher messages from spirit, it's not something that necessarily comes naturally to all people. And I know myself that it's not a natural thing. So it's something I have to work at. And I'm a good example of someone who's always been quite left brain and never been taught how to tap into this amazing and incredible spirit world until quite recently. But I'm getting better every time I practice. So when deciphering messages from spirit, it's really important to be open-minded and to immediately verbalize, or at least write down what you see, hear, perceive, whatever it is. And sometimes it might not make any sense to you, as in the flowers for me, but it will often make complete sense to the person you are receiving the messages for. Or if the messages are for you, it might come to you later and you'll go, oh, that's what they meant by that. Or something might happen to trigger a memory to that conversation you have with spirit. And sometimes you just need to keep asking spirit to explain things in more detail, to pass on what you receive before the messages are understood, okay? So if, you're hearing me talk about this connection to spirit and you're thinking, well, I've never done that before, then there is a way to connect with spirit that's quite simple. And, the fear is, for a lot of people, that they're making things up. And this often occurs when I take my clients through a past life regression as well. Like, you think you're making this up in your mind, So to address this fear or self-doubt, I've created a very quick guided process. I think it's about 8 minutes long, that helps you to not only connect with your spirit guides, but it can also be used to connect with loved ones in spirit too, or even your higher self or somebody else's higher self with their permission. And it helps you to discern whether you're actually receiving information that is from spirit or just your mind playing tricks on you. So if you would like to get access to the free download, go to empoweredlifeprograms.com / I think it's, guidance. Head over there, fill in the form. You can unsubscribe at any time, but fill in the form and you'll receive an email once you've confirmed your email address, which will give you the option to download or listen to that email online. And if you have any questions at all, please reach out via my contact page and I shall see you very soon.